Welcome to the third part of our revision for grade 10, which talks about if conditionals. We have studied if conditionals in Unit 5. In this part, we are going to revise if conditionals and how are they formed, and we are going to take exercises to make sure that we have understand. Firstly, we have three cases, and we are going to know the difference in the form between the three cases. Look to this skeleton. Firstly, this is if, and I have a sentence, if space money, I space a new car, and try to remember the structure of this sentence because it will be changed according to the change of if conditional. Let's start with the first case. The first case of if conditional is formed as if exactly plus the present simple. If plus the present simple and then will plus the infinitive, and this infinitive must be without to. So if present simple, will plus the infinitive. This is the form or the structure of the first conditional. So when we want to apply this form on the sentence, we can say if I have or had much money, I will or I would have a new car. Let's see. So the verb must be if I. Excellent. The verb must be if I have much money. What will happen? This is hypothetical sentence. What will happen if you have much money? I will buy a new car. When you look to the example, you can see that the verb is in the present simple, so the result also with will plus the infinitive. If I have much money, I'll buy a new car. Let's see the second conditional. And do we have any difference between the first and the second? We will see. Look to the sentence, if, and then something, and then something else. If I much money, I need space new car, a new car. So what do you think the verb is? Or what do you think the verb will be? In the first conditional, the verb was in the present simple. So what about the second conditional? In the second case of if conditional, the verb must be in which tense? In past simple. The verb must be in past simple. And I have to use would, not will, because will was for the first case. For the second case, we use would plus the infinitive for sure without to. So the sentence must be, if I have much money. No, this is wrong. If I, what's the past of have? The past form of the word have or the verb have must be had. So the correct answer must be if I had. If I had much money, what will happen? I would buy a new car. So if I had much money, I would buy a new car. If you look to the sentence, the verb had is in the past simple, and when I have past simple verb, this is the second case. The second sentence must be would plus the infinitive. If I had much money, I would buy a new car. So what's the difference between this case and the third case? Let's see. If I space much money, I space a new car. So try to guess what can I write in the sentence for the third case. This is the third case. What do you think the verb? What do you think the verb is? Is it present simple or past simple or present perfect or past perfect? That's correct. You're right. The verb in the third case must be in past perfect. The verb must be in past perfect. And the second sentence must be like this. It must be formed as would have plus the past participle. So this is the third case. If past perfect, and the second sentence would have plus the past participle. So you may ask me here, you may ask me a question. I don't know what's the form of past perfect. The past perfect form it as had plus the past participle, such as if I had written, or if I had found, or if I had gone, or if I had eaten. So this is the form of the past perfect. So what about this, the sentence? What about the example? How can I complete it? Excellent. If I had found much money, I would have bought a new car. When you look to the example, you can find that the verb had found is in the past perfect, and the second sentence is used with would have plus the past participle of the verb buy, which is bought. If I had found much money, I would have bought a new car. But he hasn't money, and also he didn't buy a car. Let's take an exercise to make sure we understand conditionals. Look to the first sentence. If there space rain, I will not go to school. The choices are: if there was rain, or if there were rain, I will not go to school, or if there is rain, I will not go to school. Try to choose the correct answer and tell me the reason. The correct answer must be is. Excellent. So the correct answer is because this is the first case or the first conditional, and the verb must be in present simple because the second sentence is formed with well. So this is the first conditional, and in the first conditional I have to use the verb in the present simple. Let's take the second sentence. He space help. If I achieved clear progress. He space help if I achieved clear progress. So what are the choices? He would help if I achieved clear progress, or he will help if I achieved clear progress, or he willing help if I achieved clear progress. Which is correct? And tell me the reason. But before you choose, you have to understand that the order of if conditional can be reversed. I mean, I can start with the second sentence, but I have to keep, if I start with the second sentence also, I have to keep the same form. So what's the correct answer? He would help, or he will help, or he willing help. So the correct answer should be would. He would help if I achieve clear progress. I have chosen what because the sentence or this hypothetical sentence is in the second case. So the second case, and I have known that the sentence is in the second case from the verb achieved. The verb achieved is in the past simple. So when I have a verb in past simple, the second sentence must be used with would. Choose the correct answer. Sentence number 3. Ahmed space got 4 marks if he had studied well. Ahmed space got 4 marks if he had studied well. The choices are Ahmed would got 4 marks, or Ahmed would have got 4 marks if he had studied well, or Ahmed will got 4 marks if he had studied well. What's the correct answer? The correct answer should be would have, because this sentence is in the third conditional, and I have known that the sentence is in the third conditional from the verb had studied. This verb is in the past perfect, and whenever I have a verb in past perfect, the sentence must be formed, or the second part of if conditional must be formed with would have plus the past participle. So this is a summary for if conditional in order to remember them. If plus present simple, the second part should be will or can or may plus the infinitive. So this is the first conditional. If present simple, will, can, may, one of them, not all of them, plus the infinitive. This is the first case. The second one, if past simple, and the second sentence would or could or might plus the infinitive. And this is the form of the second case. The third conditional case is formed as if plus past perfect, which is had plus past participle, and the second part is could or would have plus the past participle, and this is the structure of the third part or the third case of the hypothetical sentences. This is the end of the third part of our revision.